welcome to another edition of Grow Your Business on BRiN. I'm John Natale. It's true, is it not, that in business and in life in general, we are busier than ever. Yeah? Even though we have all the technology and all the tools and all the little gadgets and all the things we can use and the systems and processes, for some reason it feels to me, and it may feel the same to you, that we seem to be getting busier and busier and busier. And so one of the keys to success is focus. I know that we've heard a lot over the years about multitasking and being able to do 15 things at once. There's been some really good research recently about the ineffectiveness of multitasking and how you can really only do one thing at a time really, really well. Now, I know what you're thinking. Perhaps, does that mean I can only run one business? Does it mean I can only do one thing per day? No, it doesn't mean that, of course. We know that there are people out there who are very successful, who run multiple businesses and do a lot of things in the same 24 hours that you and I have available to us. So I'm not suggesting that you just do one thing. I'm suggesting that you break the bigger tasks down into chunks and you actually do one little piece of those things at a time. So if you need to do things like prospecting calls or, some team activity, just do that activity. Be present in the moment, put everything else out of your mind and get stuck into that one thing. The reason I think that's important is because if we don't do that, we tend to skate across a whole lot of different areas without getting depth in those areas. So we might do bits and pieces of lots of important things through the day, but we don't really get depth in those things. And I want you to get embedded in a project and really get in the mindset, in the space, in the zone, if you like, and really give that project the attention it deserves and then move on to the next one. Successful entrepreneurs run multiple businesses, they do lots of things, they run charities, they're involved in events. So I understand that there are always lots of things to do, but if you really want to get success, I believe you need to get focused, stop this multitasking, doing 50 things at once thing, and do one thing, get depth, and really get good at that particular thing, and give it the attention it deserves, and then move on to the next one. Okay. There are so many things that we could do in a day. 24 hours, well, okay, maybe 12 if we want to get some sleep. There are things we could do. How do you determine which of the multitude of things that you could possibly do in a day are the important ones? And this is a question that kind of plagues people a little bit. What's the important stuff? How do I decide what's going to be really important for me in that process? So I've got 3 or 4 things to think about for you. The first is, if you have a selection of tasks, let's rate them according to some criteria. And the first criteria is impact. And what I mean by that is, if I do that task, how much impact does it have on moving me towards where I want to go? How much effect, if you like, will that task have on getting me to my goals and moving me one step closer? So the first thing is impact. The second thing is effort. Some things have a big impact, but they require huge effort. And you may not have the energy or the time or the space to give it the effort it deserves to really create the impact. And maybe that's best left aside and you choose something a little further down the list that creates that momentum towards your goal. The second is profitability. Now I realise that not every goal has a profit element attached to it, but if we talk about business and we talk about wealth creation, we talk about getting ahead in life, there's an element of profit, if you like, that's related to each objective or goal that we have. So what's the impact of the goal? How much effort will it require? How much will it contribute in terms of profitability? Profit could also be impact on people's lives, for instance. That might be the profit measurement that you have for that particular goal. And the last thing is it in line with your vision? Does it fit with your vision? Often we get distracted by things that look like good ideas, and I know I'm certainly guilty of this. You see things that are great projects, good ideas, they're valuable, they add value for people, and yet they're not really in line with where you want to go. So the last check in this group of 4 is this particular task in line with my vision? Does it take me where I want to go? And is it really going to move me forward to that point? So 4 things to think about as you prioritize your tasks. 1, impact. Is the task going to have the desired effect? 2, effort. How much time and work is required? How much development? How many resources? 3, profitability. relative to other tasks and things that you might do, other ideas and projects you might spend your time on. And the last one, what's the fit with your vision? Does it take you in the right direction? Until we see you again, remember, life is for living.